everyone, it's September 4th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with one of the worst serial killers in Australian history, John Justin Bunting, known for committing the bodies in barrels murders, which claimed 11 victims in the 1990s, and that is him right back there. Bunting was born in South Australia in 1966 and was molested by a friend's brother at the age of 8. This abuse seems to have altered the course of his life, later being classified by psychologists as a psychopath who was unable to feel any empathy. This trauma led to Bunting to act out as a child, tipping insects in acid to watch them suffer, and in his 20s took work at a slaughterhouse, telling friends that he really enjoyed killing the animals. He still managed to find a wife, getting married in 1989. There really is someone for everyone out there. In 1991, he began to assemble a group of followers who all believed that suspected pedophiles deserved to be tortured and murdered. His wife and stepson were the first to be drawn into his web, but he eventually amassed a group of a half-dozen followers who would do as he told. He began to put together profiles of men he suspected of being pedophiles, but the key word is suspected, since there was little evidence that any of them actually were. Like the meme of Charlie Day on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, he profiled them on a rock spider wall where he plotted their relationships. In 1992, Bunting moved beyond just crazy conspiracy theories when he invited one of these men to his home, then bashed him to death with a shovel and buried him in a shallow grave. It was 3 years later when he acted again, but his group was just getting started. Bunting accused the mentally disabled man of making sexual advances towards the grandson of his former girlfriend, and the group tortured and killed him before burying his body in a garden. They later killed the ex-girlfriend and wrapped her remains in 11 plastic bags, then collected her pension by impersonating the woman. The group next targeted gay and trans victims, falsely believing them to be pedophiles, and engaged in horrific torture, sometimes crushing their toes with pliers, applying shocks to their genitals, and frying and eating parts of them. I think it's safe to say that no matter what you believe the problem to be, cannibalism is never the answer. They left 8 bodies in barrels filled with hydrochloric acid, which it turns out mummified the victims instead of dissolving them as was intended. Breaking Bad hadn't yet been released to teach us all to use hydrofluoric acid and not hydrochloric. They eventually moved the barrels to an abandoned bank building in Snowtown, Australia. All told, the cult committed 11 murders that took place between 1992 and 1999, often while listening to the album Throwing Copper by the band live. Police began investigating a series of disappearances in 1995 and eventually realized nearly all of them were connecting to Bunting and his friends in some way. When they finally had enough evidence, the group was rounded up in 1999 and the bodies and barrels were discovered. The case led to the longest and most expensive trial in Australian history, where 4 of his crew were convicted of murder, with all reports indicating that Bunting was the ringleader. They are all serving lengthy sentences, with Bunting being sent away for life without the possibility of parole. The case was the inspiration for the 2011 horror film Snowtown. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to John Justin Bunting, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.